special welcome to my boss and his family, who are all seated up here. So I'm going to be on my best behavior. I have a job to do, and that's represent the foundation, the work we do, and all of you as very best I can. In the book, we actually talk about the job we needed to do at the Skoll Foundation after our first couple of years of channeling Jeff's vision and really his DNA around entrepreneurs, that special kind of entrepreneur who really brings the disruptive impact to solving the world's most pressing problems. But we needed a definition. We needed to really understand this so that we could choose among the hundreds of folks who were banging on our doors, the wonderful, wonderful proposals that came our way. We needed to apply some criteria. We needed to understand what it is we were looking for and how to make the best of our precious resources. Because even though we're a grant-making foundation, our resources are finite, and believe me, we want to make them go as far as possible. So with that, and with the help of Roger Martin, who's one of our wonderful board directors and a genius when it comes to strategy, and was no way going to let us off the hook in thinking in a very non-rigorous way about this, we actually started to clarify what it is social entrepreneurship is. And we came to the realization that it's about equilibrium change, that social entrepreneurs attack systems and equilibria in society that are stuck, that have come to be because of a set of actors, because of a set of forces that are held in place and that desperately need to change. These equilibria lead to the marginalization, suffering, or large-scale disadvantage of some segment of society or some element of society much more broadly, as in environmental degradation. So once we got that clarity, we could really look at these applicants and we could look at social entrepreneurs and we could start to understand those who were trying to do good in the world and those who were on an order of magnitude journey to make that kind of impact in the world.
And I guess the other thing that struck me as important learning is just how important for social entrepreneurs the cost structure of what they do is. If you're going to drive equilibrium change, you've got to somehow create a model that has decreasing costs with scale. As if your costs are the same as you do more of it, it just is very expensive. But if you can create a cool platform like Kiva, you create a cool platform where you spend up front to create the platform, but then as more and more people use it, actually the costs per user fall. That seems to be very important in driving equilibrium change. So I guess those would be learnings since the article. Sally?
Yeah, and I'd say too, one of the really vexed questions in social entrepreneurship is the unit of analysis. So who is the beneficiary? Whom are we trying to help? And what are we paying attention to really understand whether we're making the kind of difference we're trying to make? So there's a model for change that has to factor in this unit cost diminution over time, so the more resources will go even farther as the innovation scales. At the same time, being very clear about that unit of analysis is also tricky because social entrepreneurs really are systemic thinkers and they understand that these variables all influence one another. Nonetheless, one of the real qualities of entrepreneurship is focus. So being very clear about that unit of analysis is what leads one to be able to make the investment in a model that can actually scale effectively. So that's another lesson and not an easy thing to determine, but one of the distinguishing hallmarks of a social entrepreneur.